What really went down in Liam Payne's hotel room? The FBI just made a discovery that's sending shockwaves through the music world. Fans are left wondering what happened and why. With new disturbing details emerging by the minute, this one's way bigger than anyone expected. On October 16th, 2024, the world got hit with some news no one saw coming. Liam Payne, the One Direction star we all grew up with, had passed away in Buenos Aires. He'd been staying at the chic Casa Sur Hotel in the Palmero district, just doing his thing when things took a dark turn out of nowhere. Around 1 p.m., Liam fell from his third-floor balcony and, sadly, it was fatal. Fans everywhere were left in shock, wondering how something like this could happen to someone who brought so much light to his fans. Just before his fall, the hotel staff had called 911, worried about an agitated guest. They said he seemed aggressive and like he had had too much to drink. That guest turned out to be Liam. His behavior had the hotel staff on edge, and within minutes of their call, the unthinkable occurred. The entire hotel was left in shock. An autopsy later confirmed what everyone feared. Liam had suffered polytrauma, which means multiple serious injuries all over his body. It wasn't just a few bruises. He had about 25 injuries, including severe damage to his head and massive internal and external bleeding. His skull, chest, and abdomen showed signs of heavy impact. And here's where things got even more mysterious. He had no defensive injuries on his hands, which usually happens when someone tries to break or fall. It was as if he didn't even know he was falling. When investigators stepped into Liam's room, they found absolute chaos. Broken items littered on the floor, the smashed TV left shards of glass around, and the whole place had an intense, destructive vibe. It was like someone had just exploded in anger or distress. They also found what looked like drugs, white powder on tables, scorched foil, and a half-empty bottle of whiskey, leading to theories that Liam might have been under the influence. The bathroom was a mess too. More foil pieces, a broken soap bar, and an overall scene of chaos suggested Liam's last hours were far from calm. It was clear he'd been going through something deep, something serious. Hotel staff had already been worried enough to call for help right before things escalated. A prescription drug called clonazepam, typically used for anxiety, was also found in his room. This detail hinted at a tough mental state. With whiskey, suspected narcotics, and anti-anxiety medication all mixed, it seemed like he might have been self-medicating, possibly to manage some inner struggles. But mixing these substances can be dangerous, and in this case, it may have clouded his judgment, leading him down a risky path. Liam's passing is still under investigations, and authorities have classified his death as doubtful or undetermined. They are interviewing people close to him, including 2 women reportedly with him earlier that day, trying to figure out if anyone or anything else played a role in what happened. While the cause remains uncertain, they're digging into every clue, hoping to uncover the truth behind this heartbreaking incident. In recent months, Liam had also faced public criticism, which only added pressure. Before traveling to Argentina, he'd attended his former bandmate Niall Horan's concert in Buenos Aires. He even posted a Snapchat joking that he'd square up with Niall, a comment some fans didn't appreciate. His motives were questioned, and online scrutiny quickly followed. Social media only amplified things. Clips from an old interview with Logan Paul resurfaced, stirring up even more negativity. Fans started scrutinizing him even more, especially after a TikTok surfaced from his current girlfriend Cassidy. In it, Liam joked that she looked nice and covered up for once, which some fans saw as controlling. This only fueled the public's already critical view of him. Altogether, it was a tough time for Liam, both personally and publicly. While we might never know every detail of those last hours, the story of Liam's final days is one of sadness and deep struggles. Now, where exactly did things really get intense for him? You see, it all started on October 14th when Liam Payne's ex-fiancée, Maya Henry, went on a podcast called The Internet Is Dead and shared some big-time allegations. Maya, who had been engaged to Liam from 2020 to 2022, opened up about what she described as a toxic relationship. Her claims were intense, especially one where she alleged Liam used self-harm threats to keep control of situations. This, according to Maya, deeply disturbed both her and her family. She said they'd even tried to get him to check into rehab, but he wasn't interested. And even after they'd split, she claimed Liam kept contacting her through her iCloud account, which led her to send him a cease and detest letter to try and end things for good. And that wasn't all. Maya hinted that her debut novel, Looking Forward, which came out in May, was inspired by her own life, with fans starting to connect dots between the character Mallory and Maya herself. The book dives into some dark stuff, like a scene where Mallory's partner pressures her into a traumatic at-home abortion and then makes her stay quiet about it to avoid a scandal. Maya even mentioned Liam's family had warned her against publishing it. With all this out in the open now, fans were left with a lot of questions about what might have gone on behind the scenes in her relationship with Liam. While the internet buzzed over these claims, Liam's social media had a different picture. He appeared happy, relaxed and totally at ease, which only deepened the mystery. Then on October 16th, news hit that Liam had tragically fallen from his hotel balcony. Fans were in disbelief. The Casa Sur Hotel, where he had been staying, soon turned into a makeshift memorial. People left flowers, candles and notes to honor him, and fans gathered to sing his songs in a heartfelt tribute. For many, this loss hit hard. Some fans had followed Liam's journey since his One Direction days, and losing him was like losing a piece of their past. One fan who'd loved One Direction since she was a kid was devastated at the idea there'd be no reunion. Another fan who had never seen him live went to the memorial as a way of finally showing his support, even if it was bittersweet. But the internet, being the internet, didn't stop there. Theories started popping up everywhere. Some fans started connecting his passing to a story Liam had told on the Graham Norton show back in 2017 about meeting Diddy at a party. He shared an awkward experience where Diddy had given him a super long handshake and a creepy laugh, leaving Liam uncomfortable. And during this story, actress Salma Hayek, who was on the show with him, had visibly cringed, which people took as a sign that maybe she knew more about Diddy's reputation. With Diddy's name constantly linked to controversies, this old clip seemed to carry more weight, and fans started wondering if that strange encounter had left any lasting impact on Liam. The conspiracy theories continued to boil, especially after Joe Rogan chimed in with his own comments about Hollywood elites and illegal activities. Fans, already grieving and trying to make sense of it all, started connecting Rogan's words with Liam's story, turning an awkward encounter into something much bigger. While rumors and theories kept spreading, most fans just wanted to remember Liam for the music and joy he brought into their lives. The stark difference between his happy social media posts and the tragedy of his death was hard to reconcile, leaving a lingering sadness for fans everywhere. They continued to mourn him and celebrate the way his music had lifted them up. This wasn't just another celebrity headline, it was indeed a real loss. Meanwhile, Maya's place in the story wasn't exactly easy either. Although some people sent her supportive messages, others weren't as kind, leaving her Instagram flooded with judgmental comments. Meanwhile, the drama around Diddy just keeps getting crazier, especially after Joe Rogan's latest podcast episode. Rogan really dived into the mess surrounding Diddy and hinted that he might spill some juicy secrets about big-name celebrities. It's starting to feel a bit like the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation, where dark stuff could come to light. On the podcast, Rogan and his guests took a good laugh at Diddy's legal troubles. They compared it to the notorious Epstein case, scratching their heads over how some big names who've popped up in records and flight logs seem to just skate away from any trouble. Rogan speculated that instead of Diddy taking the fall all by himself, he might actually start naming names of people who had attended his wild parties. Can you imagine that? Unlike Epstein, who kept everything on lockdown, Diddy could be ready to spill the beans, shining a light on some shady corners of Hollywood. This has put up tons of rumors, making Hollywood elites sweat bullets, wondering if their secrets are about to blow up. This isn't the first time Rogan has mentioned Diddy's connections to Hollywood. A few months back, comedian Andrew Schultz joined Rogan and they tossed around ideas about the recent FBI raid on Diddy's house. They speculated that this raid might have been a last-ditch effort by the elite to keep messy secrets under wraps. It seems like some of those big names are scrambling to cover their tracks to dodge their own drama. Rogan even dropped hints about Prince Harry being linked to Diddy, showing just how far Diddy's influence stretches, with whispers of a much bigger story brewing. It's clear that this scandal is just getting started. Now let's chat about Clive Davis, the legendary music producer who helped launch Diddy's career. His recent silence has shocked fans. For those who might not know, Davis is a big deal in the music world, helping tons of stars rise to fame. He was a key player in Diddy's success back in the 90s, so when Davis distanced himself from Diddy and claimed he didn't know him, it felt like a real slap in the face to many. After years of working together, that kind of denial really stings. But not everyone's buying it. Singer Jaguar Wright has questioned whether Davis might have let Diddy down some tricky paths. Even Suge Knight, a controversial figure in the music scene, has jumped in, saying Davis and other industry insiders could have had a bad influence on Diddy. Not all of Diddy's pals are turning their backs though. Longtime friend Jermaine Dupri has come to Diddy's defense. Known for his legendary So So Def label, Dupri has been tight with Diddy for ages. When Diddy's house got raided, Dupri came out swinging, saying the whole situation was blown out of proportion. He argued that Diddy's fame makes him an easy target, which might not be fair. Fans found it odd that Dupri, usually a chill guy, suddenly decided to publicly support Diddy. Social media lit up with speculation, wondering if Dupri knows more than he's letting on. Meanwhile, Bow Wow, another artist connected to Dupri, reminisced about missing Diddy's legendary parties, only to get teased online for recalling events that may not have always been above board. And then there's Dr. Dre, another major player in this whole thing. These two have been tight for decades, often seen together at big industry events, but their friendship hit a bump back in 2014. During Apple's buyout of Dre's Beats brand, Diddy reportedly tipped off Jimmy Iovine about a leak that cost Dre a staggering $200 million. Even after that drama, the two managed to patch things up. Now Dre is facing his own legal mess. His former therapist is suing him for alleged threats and unethical behavior. With all of these big names caught up in various dramas, it's hard to tell who's really in trouble and who's just getting dragged into the chaos. And now, Russell Simmons is in the hot seat for his connection to Sean Diddy Combs, which many people feel might have influenced Diddy in a negative way. Let's just also go through this. Now, Russell Simmons is a major player in both music and the fashion worlds. He co-founded Def Jam Recordings, which launched a bunch of hip-hop legends. He's also behind cool fashion brands like Fat Farm and Argyle Culture. Diddy looks up to Simmons and sees him as a mentor. They've been seen together at exclusive parties, like that memorable bash in July 2000 with Jennifer Lopez. When the FBI raided Diddy's house in May 2024, Simmons quickly came to his defense. He went live on Instagram saying it's not cool to celebrate someone's downfall. Simmons highlighted how Diddy has helped many people succeed and argued that tearing someone down when they are down is just wrong. But Simmons also has his own legal troubles. Since 2017, several women have accused him of inappropriate behavior, which has really hurt his reputation. By 2024, he was living it up in Bali, likely trying to avoid legal trouble back in the US. He even got a court summons there for defamation from Drew Dixon, one of the women who accused him. With both Diddy and Simmons facing serious allegations, many in the hip-hop community are suggesting whether Simmons has been a good influence on Diddy. Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal hinted that being around Simmons might have affected Diddy's choices. Then there's Anna Wintour, a fashion powerhouse who has boosted Diddy's image. She's featured him in Vogue, giving him a big lift in the fashion scene. Although there's no sign she's involved in any of Diddy's issues, critics want her to explain her connection to him as the allegations pile up. She's reportedly frustrated about being dragged into the drama and is trying to distance herself from Diddy. And let's not forget Diddy's best friend, Jay-Z. They've been pretty close since the early 90s, rising together in the rap scene. Despite their strong friendship, Jay-Z has kept quiet about Diddy's recent troubles, which raises eyebrows given their long history. As Diddy's trial approaches, his defense team is fighting hard against the charges. They claim the government has leaked damaging info and are gearing up to challenge the evidence against him. If found guilty, Diddy could face serious consequences, including a long prison sentence. What do you guys think about Russell and Diddy's situation? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more such content. We'll be back soon with another one. See ya then.